welcome to the deep dive. This time, we are diving into the world of, you guessed it, flirting, first date questions, all that good stuff. Seems like you've all been hitting that self-improvement content again. But this is interesting. We've got advice for men on how to talk to women, written by a woman. What did they say? Get your advice straight from the source.
Yeah, it's always interesting to hear perspectives from, let's say, those on the receiving end of those classic first date questions.
Right.
And this source, it really does seem to offer a fresh perspective on how to make a real connection.
It does. So instead of diving straight into where are you from or what do you do, this source suggests some, I think, seriously thought-provoking alternatives. And expert speaker, I'm dying to hear your take on this. Is it really as simple as just changing your go-to questions?
You know, I think it's a little more nuanced than simply swapping out phrases, right? I think what this source is tapping into are some real psychological principles at play here when we talk about attraction and connection. You know, it's about understanding what makes someone feel seen and understood, and these questions, they're cleverly designed to do just that.
Okay, let's unpack this a little. One of the first things that jumped out at me was replacing the classic, where are you from, with where do you feel most at home? Now that's a question that makes you think, isn't it?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And that's the beauty of it. Where are you from is very factual, right? It's geographical, but where do you feel most at home? That's emotional. That invites someone to share something personal, a place where they feel most comfortable, happy, truly themselves.
It's like you're asking them to reveal a secret part of themselves, their own personal sanctuary.
Yeah.
And I can see how that would be so much more effective in building a connection. You're not just exchanging information, but you're sharing a piece of your inner world with each other.
Exactly. It creates an immediate sense of intimacy and understanding that you just don't get from talking about your hometown. I mean, think about it. The answer could be anything, right? From a childhood bedroom to a mountaintop. It reveals so much more about their values, their passions, their dreams.
Okay, that makes total sense. Now let's move on to another classic question that this source wants us to ditch. What are your hobbies? Honestly, just hearing that question makes me want to crawl under a rock.
Right, because it's so generic.
It is?
And it puts people on the spot. Like, go on, perform for me, and list your hobbies.
Tell me what's interesting about you.
Exactly. So instead of that, this source suggests asking, if you had a totally free Saturday, what would you do with it?
Ooh, now that sparks joy.
Right.
Yeah.
It does.
I'm picturing myself like on a hike with a picnic basket, or maybe curled up with a good book at a sunny cafe. It just feels so much more inviting and playful.
And it's incredibly revealing because it taps into someone's desires and aspirations. Instead of listing hobbies they might feel obligated to have, it's uncovering what truly brings them joy, how they recharge, what they value in their free time.
You know, it's interesting because I think we often forget that first dates are essentially about uncovering shared values and seeing if there's a spark. And these questions seem to cut through the noise and get right to the heart of that.
Totally. This source really gets that, you know, going beyond just the superficial stuff and figuring out, like, do you actually connect on a deeper level? Do you share similar values? Would you enjoy spending your free time in similar ways? Those are the questions that really matter.
Okay, I'm sold. Now let's talk about this last question swap, which I have to admit feels a little daunting, right?
Yeah.
The source suggests ditching the dreaded, where do you want to eat? And instead, suggesting a specific place. Talk about a power move.
Well, it is, isn't it? It's about taking initiative, showing confidence, and you know what? Those are attractive qualities.
Yeah.
Think about it. Where do you want to eat puts the pressure on the other person, right?
Oh, yeah.
And it can often lead to that awkward, I don't know, what are you in the mood for? Back and forth.
Tell me about it. I can't even count how many times I've been stuck in that loop.
Right. So by suggesting a specific place, you're not only showing that you're decisive, but you're also giving your date a glimpse into your tastes, your interests.
Right.
Maybe you suggest that cozy Italian place you love, or that new ramen spot everyone's raving about. It's like a subtle way of sharing a part of yourself and seeing if they vibe with it.
It's like you're saying, hey, this is me. This is what I enjoy. I'd love for you to experience it with me, you know?
Yeah.
So much more powerful than just leaving it open-ended.
Exactly. It shows that you've put thought and effort into the date and that you're not afraid to, you know, take the lead.
You know what? This entire deep dive has got me thinking, like, these question swapping strategies, they're brilliant, not just for first dates, but for any conversation where you're trying to connect with someone on a deeper level, really.
Oh, absolutely. I think, these principles, they apply to networking, friendships, even job interviews, right?
Oh, totally.
I mean, I imagine instead of asking, what are your strengths in a job interview, you say, like, what project are you most proud of?
Ooh,
Right?
that's good.
It instantly creates a more engaging, insightful conversation.
You just blew my mind. I never even thought about it that way, but it makes so much sense. It's like you're giving people permission to share their passions and highlight their accomplishments in a way that feels so much more natural, authentic.
Totally. And it allows you to connect with them on a deeper level because you're not just getting this canned response, you're hearing about their experiences, their motivations, their unique perspective.
This deep dive has been a complete game changer. I mean, who knew that something as simple as changing the questions you ask could have such a profound impact on your conversations? It's like unlocking a secret code to human connection.
It really is. And the best part is, it's a skill that you can continue to hone and develop, right? The more you pay attention to the questions that you're asking, the more you're going to discover, not just about other people, but about yourself as well.
So true. It's an invitation to be more curious, more engaged, and ultimately, I think, more connected. Well, there you have it. Proof that sometimes the most powerful changes come from the simplest shifts in perspective. Until next time, keep those questions coming and keep diving deep.